It's Tuesday, so I'm here with Terry Herrington again, my inspiration, my mentor, my piano teacher. And we've taken you through quite a bit of history. He's never been out of work.
Oh.
You know what you're doing, don't you? So we're at now, just give us a brief. You've been thrown at the deep end age 14, playing piano in clubs. Then you went to do your service and were introduced to the idea of arranging for bands with loads of instruments. So his knowledge is just up
Well,
there.
it's just experience, isn't it, Catherine?
Yes.
You always learn something from. If you learn a bit of something from what you're doing today, it's called experience, isn't it?
Yes.
And then pass it on to tomorrow.
Yes.
And that's what happened. But like I said to you, that big band that were formed at the Windmill Club in Rotherham.
Yes, that's
still
very
going strong.
right.
I'm happy about that.
Colin Yates's big band,
For Colin's sake. He'll tell you that into the detail as it was. But the guy called Peter Casson, who was a hypnotist, used to go around the theatres hypnotising people and all that. But he bought this club in Barnsley and he called it the Bar Club. He also had another nightclub in Kirk Sandal near Doncaster called it the Kiki. So what it is the first two letters of the name of the town, Barnsley, became the bar, and the Kiki, Kirk Sandal became the Kiki.
Love it.
So he got that, and it was a lovely place actually. And I used to play for an hour as they were coming in on piano, nice gentle background music as they're coming in. And then I used to move to organ, where I got a drummer with me.
Yeah. And
we had to play for the cabaret, which were led on by dancers and a compere.
Right.
Dennis Lake, they called him, and his wife Penny, and he's got 3 or 4 dancers. I think four dancers. He used to do the routines and then introduce the show. You had different artists coming on. Some of them we worked with quite a few times before, at Greensborough, so we knew them. And other people coming on like Long John Baldry and people like that, were big names at the time coming in. It had got a lovely dance floor in front of it, but they used to have the tables on that first. Then at the back they had the radio at the back. They got a restaurant, silver service restaurant. You could have steak and everything you wanted. And the waitresses going around serving at the tables. They were very posh.
Very posh.
And one of the waitresses used to stand quite near me. Very beautiful young lady was just quite near me and looked at me a lot. And I was playing piano in particular. And that young lady was Lydia.
Was he really?
Yeah.
It's his wife.
Yes.
Now.
Now, she wasn't then, but there we go. That's a long story.
But that's how you met them.
It is.
I see.
Yes, exactly. But in the break time, we had a break at 11:45, and we used to then come on at 12:15. But I had a 7-piece band then. Used to come on at 12:15 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Ah.
Sometimes Colin Yates used to come with that and playing trumpet for him.
Ah.
But I used to go for a break in the casino. We had a casino. And Lydia used to serve behind the bar sometimes. They give in coffee, cheese sandwich, etc. for the break, for the band. And I knew that she liked me because when I had my break and my cheese sandwich, she always gave me 2 pickled onions.
That's the sign.
I knew it, so I knew it. All the others got 1, I got 2. That's it. By the by. Anyway, I was there for about Bar Club for about 2 years, right? And then after that, 2.5 years, I did a little spell at Wheatley Club in Doncaster, but not very long. But then after that, they came to me from Sheffield Wednesday Football Club. Of course, they had a club, like the one at Rotherham United Football Ground, called the Night Owl. And that was a similar type setup, but not quite so big.
Right.
And quite a nice little setup, that. And I had a drummer who would work with me at the Bar Club called Des French, and he also was in the RF band, so he had a good reader, so we could play more or less anything we wanted, and that was quite nice in there. But after a while, they had a new manager called somebody Rooney. He used to have what they call the Mucky Duck in Sheffield, the Black Swan. This would be on there, big posh name, they call it the Mucky Duck. So it started to become a bit roughish. And it don't exist anymore now. They knocked it down with a built a new cop entrance over the top, covered it in. But by then, one particular afternoon, I was sat in the house and I got a phone call. One of the acts I used to work with in Greensboro, I want to find him, he used to work quite a lot. And there's Bobby V, look, another American. Jerry Dorsey. You know Jerry Dorsey?
No,
No, you know him. You haven't? You've heard of his other name. Engelbert Humperdinck.
Hey, Engelbert.
There he is.
Right.
And
Did you play for him?
yes, yeah, of course I did.
Of course you did.
And so I'm looking for Julian Job. He was a singer who used to come quite a lot. Here's Bob Monkhouse again. Susan Lane, fabulous singer. But I'm looking for Julian. No. We'll see him in a minute. Matt Monroe. Born Free. The soundtrack of Born Free. The film. From Russia with Love. Soundtrack. Matt Monroe. Fabulous.
Oh, that was Tanya the elephant.
There you are. That's it, where are we?
Let's show him.
Where is it? Can you see it?
Here.
There's Tanya. That's the elephant there.
So, Terry saved all this.
Yeah. There she is. That's little Tanya.
Little.
Well, she was, wasn't she? Tiny. And Billy Fury, remember him? He's Matt Monroe again, with Johnny Ball. Zoe Ball's father.
Wow.
There he is, a comedian. Marty Wilde. Right, I'll tell you about him. He's Kim Wilde's father.
Oh, really?
Of course he is.
Oh.
Matt Monroe again, Wee Willie Alice, Matt Monroe, can't see him.
Shadows.
Here he is. This is Julian Jones here. Him there. Now what had happened every time he came one of the times he came to Greensboro, he was a classical tenor, a big tenor like Pavarotti. Beautiful voice. And he had a bad throat. He said, I'm not going to get through the week, I can't get through the week, I can't explain it. So I says to him, well, why don't you try something lighter instead of the big ballads? And he said, like what? I said, well, anything like Sonny Boy, You Belong to My Heart, anything that's nice and gentle for you.
Yeah.
Oh, he said, don't take that from me. Anyway, he gets on, he sings his first two songs and it's talking to the horse. So I'm tinkling on the piano behind him, I'm tinkling Sonny Boy. And I get the book. I said, oh dear. He said, this man behind me, he wants me to do this song. I've never done it before. He said, I do know it, but I've never done it. So he says to the lighting man, can he put me a pin spot on the stage just in front of me? So he did do. He did Sonny Boy, When They Were Grace, and he worked to it, like he was working to a little boy, like Sonny Boy. What? We were on the feet, weren't they? The crowd thought it was brilliant. So he did the other one, You Belong to My Heart, the same thing. Then he got through another couple of classic numbers and he went off. And he came back and he said, I don't believe that. He said, I never thought they'd take that from me. He said, what do you think? So over a period of about, 6 months or so, I did him quite a few arrangements, like just trio arrangements, piano, bass, drums and guitar, that kind of thing, for him to work around different places. And he did Hey Jude and all that, one of the Beatles songs and all that kind of stuff. And I did an arrangement, Try a Little Tenderness, and Into She, the one by Charles Aznavour. She, wonderful. And I combined them two. Then I went back to the last part of Try a Little Tenderness. She's not just sentimental. Big finish, triplets, the big finish. Wowed him. Anyway, it disappeared. It disappeared for about 2 years. By this time, I'm playing at the Night Owl in Sheffield, and then they got the rough element coming in. I weren't really happy. And I got the phone call, and it's Julian. I said, I thought you died. He said, no. He said, no, thanks. He said, to you. He said, I've done all sorts. I went to South Africa, did well there, South Africa. Then I went off to Australia, and I've done all right there.
With your arrangements?
Well, a lot of them,
Yeah.
what I've done. So they work well. He says, and well, what are you doing now? I said, I'm working at the night time. I said, happy Saturday, not really. He says, well, I'd like you to come with me to Australia as my music director. I went, what? He said, yeah, I'm doing all right. He said, I want you to come with me. What do you want? And I thought, for the night time, I'll double that, he'll not pay that. So I doubled what I was getting at the night time. He said, I'll double that. So it's like 4 times what I'm getting. I got 2 young sons at the time, right? So I could, 6 months, everything paid, flights, accommodation, couldn't turn it down, could I? So you go in, I get there, I'm in on the plane, going to Australia. I don't know what the hell I'm going in for. I'd made arrangements back home for my wife, my first wife as well at the time, to pick up the money. I was going to send it by bank transfer, to make sure that my family were all right and secure. Right. So he gets to Australia, but I'd got an aunt, you see, that when I was a little boy, I remember from being about 5 or 6, you remember from that. And they went to Australia, went to live in Australia on an assisted passage called Aunt Ina. I got her number. I wasn't going to tell her, I was going to ring her up and surprise her when I was in Australia, because she hadn't seen me since I was about that age. So now I'm going out to Australia. I get to Sydney, they've lost my case. I got on my evening dressing and everything, but anyway, we were tired. So we go out through, going out into the area, going out, and I heard this band strike up, like a jazz band. I said, oh, God, there's a band somewhere, He said, I know they're for me. He said, what are you? He said, yeah, so there'll be some people waiting for me. I go outside, and the steps at Sydney Airport, there's about 200 people there. The band played, yeah, all this bit. And I'm, bloody hell, where am I? So, there were a limousine. I mean, we got jet lag, we just come in. No. So we come, put in this limousine, and they took us to the restaurant. There's about 40 people in there, this restaurant. So I'm like, so they come round with this, what you want to eat, so I'll have this. So I heard this voice outside, an English voice. He said, don't worry, mate, it'll be all right. He said, you'll be fine when you settle in. That was Marty Wilde.
Kim Wilde's dad?
Kim Wilde's dad. He was in the same motel as we were in, just down the corridor, with his 2 little kids. Oh. One of them more little. Wow. Wasn't it? We didn't know at the time, did we?
World.
Didn't know. Then this big guy, who was about 7'9", looked like Lurch off. He said, what are you doing, mate? Are you with Jorgie? I said, yeah, I am. He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm a music director, pianist. Play piano for me. Well, the piano's up on a stage, about 6 foot high. You can see the piano up there. I said, well, I don't know how to get up to the piano. He said, no problem. Just listen to it like a dog. Put me on the steps.
Was there no steps?
And just like there were steps, but he wasn't bothered about it. He wanted me to play something for him.
Oh.
Me and him became great friends over the period of time. But, in here. So then you go back to the hotel. I've no case. So I'm in my room. I've been in my room about 2 hours. I'm just dropping asleep. And I knock on the door. I always my case. Right. So I open the door. And there's this little grey lady. And that's my aunt.
Ah.
Qantas had opened my case. Seen her number. Right. Phoned her. She lived at Cabramatta, just outside Sydney. She got in a cab straight away and come into the hotel.
Oh.
So I saw my aunt before I saw my case.
Oh.
So that is like, it's merely sorry itself. I mean, I hadn't seen her for about 50, 60, well, 20 odd years.
Blimey.
So, but she got a family out there in Cabramatta, and relatives still out there. In there, they live out there.
Really?
Some of them, one of them works in the government now in Canberra,
Right.
etc.
Oh, well, tell us all about Australia next week.
Yeah.
What an amazing story.